Roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Dr. Andy Magnum from the First Christian Church in Arlington, senior minister there. We appreciate very much you coming down today. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Good to hear you. We are grateful to you, our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer, for life, for light, for laughter, for love, for those who lead and for those who serve. We are grateful for the gift of redemption and for grace that enables us to continue and to move forward. Grant us discernment as we pray for the decisions that must be made. Enable this Tarrant County Commissioners Court to conduct its business with fairness and wisdom. Sensitize each of us, O Lord, to the needs of the most vulnerable. Our greatness depends not on the heights of our achievements, but on the depths of our compassion. Open our eyes to see the path that may be hidden, and help us so to administer the resources entrusted to us, that by our actions and decisions we may glorify you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Doctor, thank you for coming out today.
Take the count.
Oh, say.
That will never go away, will it, Commissioner?
No.
Okay. I just
Well, at
wanted to
least it
check.
replaces something else that you thought would never go away.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's get reset here. Members of the court, we have two agenda announcements and then just one general announcement. Under the agenda, under the administrator section, item 7A8. This is a consent item. We're going to remove that from the consent item because we have an audience participation form on that particular item, so we'll take that in order as we go through the administrator section. Also, members of the court, under purchasing, items 7I11. This is for Roche Applied Science. We're going to ask that we hold that for 1 week. Also, members of the court, we would like to do something between open session and closed session. We need to get a photograph of the court as a whole. Mr. Duff is going to do that. We'd like to do a photograph up here and then also in the hallway for our web page. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of August the 5th.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. You have before you the consent agenda, save and except for those items that Mr. Manius just changed.
Move approval, save and accept items 7A8.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have several items to bring to you this morning. The first one, and as we talked about yesterday in our budget process, that our notifications that we're required to do by state law have changed a little bit for cities and counties, and this is the beginning of that process. These are just simply to get us to a position where that we can start doing the different publications. So on item number 1, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court take the following actions. To receive and file the proposed, effective, and rollback tax rate information for Tarrant County government, and if the proposed tax rate exceeds the effective or rollback tax rates, whichever is lower, to call public hearings for August 26th, 2014, and September 2nd, 2014, at 10 o'clock in the Commissioners' Courtroom. Now, our effective tax rate is .256335 per $100 valuation. Our rollback rate is .275570 per 100 valuation. Our current tax rate is .264, and our proposed tax rate, which we presented to you yesterday, is also our current tax rate, which is .264. So we're requesting that the court take that following action as staff recommends.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to receive and file, which basically will mean that we will have these public hearings because...
In Your Honor, may I suggest that we not take a vote to receive and file, but to approve what staff is recommending, which is first to receive and file, and then second to set those public hearings.
I amended my motion as such.
And the second is okay, so we're all right with that. And so we basically will hold the public hearings because our proposed rate lies between the effective rate and the rollback.
That's correct. It does not exceed the rollback rate. It's
Right,
just,
it doesn't exceed that, but it is above the effective rate, so.
yes, sir.
Any discussion or questions? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Members of the court, if we can now go to item number 2. This is an issue same with the hospital district. It is a little bit different in that, well, first let me say what we're requesting is that the Commissioners Court take the following actions. That we receive and file the proposed effective and rollback tax rates of the Tarrant County Hospital District, propose a tax rate of .227897 for tax year 14, and take a record vote. I may point out, this is setting the top end because this is not the final tax rate that you'll be voting on. You can vote, amend that tax rate anything lower than that particular amount. And then, if the proposed tax rate exceeds the effective or rollback tax rates, whichever is lower, call public hearings for August 26, 2014 and September 2nd, 2014 at 10 o'clock in the Commissioners' Courtroom. The effective tax rate for the hospital district is .227614 per $100 valuation. Rollback tax rate is .245620 per $100 valuation. And the current tax rate is .227897. And the proposed tax rate, which was set by the board, or recommended by the board, at their August 19th budget meeting, and that proposed tax rate is .227897. We're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve the recommendation of the staff.
When are we going to see their budget?
It's scheduled to come to you next week.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the court, if we can go to item number 3, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve a statement of agreement between the American Red Cross Chisholm Trail Chapter and Tarrant County as relates to the provision of disaster recovery and relief services.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the court, if we can go to item number 4, we're requesting that the court approve an exception to the county's travel policy as it relates to Judge Sherry Hill. As you know, we have a policy that basically states that elected or appointed officials who are in their final year of their term and who are not seeking re-election, that they need to request Commissioners Court approval prior to any out-of-region and/or educational travel. Judge Hill attended 2 classes, and we've listed those in your court communication. Both of these classes were necessary for her to continue her education credits, which are a requirement for her to complete her term of office. So we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve those exceptions, and I would like to make one correction, and Ms. Schneider, if you'll help me with that correction. on the travel issue, that actually this should come from education, and it's account number 588261. We'll provide the clerk with that information. That's our recommendation.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second with the corrections that Mr. Manning has stated. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the Court, I'm going to ask Ms. McMillan to present the next item.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Commissioners Court is being asked today to approve a resolution providing approval of the issuance of Series 2014 Retirement Facility Revenue Bonds by the Tarrant County Cultural Education Facilities Finance Corporation for Buckingham Senior Living Community in an amount not to exceed $135 million. The proceeds of these bonds will be used to finance or refinance a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, improving, or equipping healthcare facilities for continuing care retirement located in Houston. The funding will enable the addition of 103 independent living units, 26 assisted living units, 18 memory care units, and 32 nursing units to the existing Buckingham Senior Living Community facility. Now, Buckingham is one of 6 senior living facilities that are under the Senior Quality Lifestyles Corporation structure. The others include the Staten at Museum Way here in Fort Worth, the Edgemere in Dallas. There's a Querencia at Barton Creek in Austin, the Mirador in Corpus Christi, and they also have the Barrington in Carmel, Indiana. The Cultural Education Facilities Finance Corporation has previously issued bonds for several SQLC properties, including the Edgemere in 2006, Buckingham in 2007, and the Staten and Mirador in 2009. In order for the bonds to qualify as tax exempt, they require the approval of the Commissioners Court. However, these bonds are being issued by the Cultural Education Facilities Finance Corporation and are not a liability of the county. Randall Dean is the counsel for the Cultural Education Facilities Finance Corporation, and he is here today to answer any questions or provide any more information that y'all may need on this issuance.
Do you have support or letters that indicates approval or support by the city as well as the county in Harris County?
I'm reading with the Brown Pruitt Wamscon's firm, and Harris County will provide a consent agenda. It is on their current agenda for next week for approval of these funds to be utilized in Harris County. And the borrower approached Tarrant County Health Facilities Development Corp. Because of the history going back to 2007, 2009, for use of these, for this financing.
Is that facility in the unincorporated area, or is it within a city?
It is within the city of Houston, but it only requires one of the two.
One of the two?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
City or county. In Harris County, it is, they're being approached for a consent resolution.
Okay.
Much like Tarrant County will be approached for a consent resolution for other issuers to expend funds within Tarrant County.
Okay.
GK, do you know what the fee income is on this to the county, the Tarrant County?
I'm sorry?
The fee income?
It's $10,000.
$10,000 is the application fee that the borrower pays directly to Tarrant County.
One other quick comment. As it relates to restrictions on these properties, there are no known restrictions or limitations on current or future uses of the facilities that are to be financed.
So can we make this subject to the Harris County approval?
I believe they can't. These bonds can't.
Harris
be issued
County or
under
the city of Harris?
Harris County.
Judge Whitley would be making it subject to his fine. This is just a matter of scheduling. Oftentimes when we come before this body, we already have the consent of the location. In this instance, their agenda allowed us to be on it next week rather than the week prior to this.
Okay. So do I have a motion?
I move approval subject to approval of Harris County Commissioners Court.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the Court, if we can go to item number 6, we're requesting that the Court approve a commercial lease agreement between the Tarrant County Hospital District and Tarrant County as it relates to the resource connection.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the Court, if we can go to item number 8. We're requesting that the Court approve a resolution regarding the participation of the City of Southlake in the Tarrant County Urban Consortium for Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership Entitlement Program, and Emergency Services Grant programs for program year 2015 and 2017. The main purpose of this is to allow if there is some type of a disaster in Southlake that we can expend federal funds in those particular areas. We do have an audience participation form, Your Honor.
At this time, I'll call Mr. Groomer up and ask that you introduce yourself, give your name and address, and then any comments that you have.
Hello. Thank you for, allowing me to come up here.
Go ahead and repeat your name.
My name is Jonathan Grummer. I live in Colleyville, Texas. Thank you for letting me come up and ask this question. This is a question from a friend of mine. She asks this: is this homeless population referred in the Emergency Solutions Grant Program referring to the new population of immigrants, migrants crossing the southern border? If not, what is this homeless population the grant is referring to? And why are suburbs like Southlake preparing a house to a homeless population when historically homeless people tend to live in urban settings?
Ms. Ward, would you like to come forward and maybe address those questions?
The programs we have in place have been existing for 40 years. We're addressing homelessness within the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Nothing will change. Southlake has been a member of this consortium for 40 years. This will allow Southlake to receive funding in case of disaster. Right now, we do not spend homeless money probably in Southlake. We spend it where the need is, and it shouldn't be impacted indifferently this year for next year.
Does this, for example, under the Katrina deal, would it have anything whatsoever to do with like when we housed folks from Katrina?
If there was something available through Grace, the nonprofit, they would serve. But as far as anything other than that, it made it available. It was not compulsory. Sorry, but it
required.
Yes, it made it available. Thank you very much. And you will understand.
Been there, done that. So
yeah, I knew you would understand. But it makes it available, and the city may apply for funds through us automatically if they're a part of the consortium.
And Grace is located in Grapevine.
It is, and they serve Northeast Tarrant County. Right. We serve the county-wide, and we will continue to serve the county-wide.
And this is important in that if we do have a disaster, and we did pick up a lot of people from Katrina. And there were a bunch of cities that opened up churches. They opened up school facilities to help handle those evacuees, and this would give Southlake the opportunity to be reimbursed, potentially be reimbursed for some of those expenditures.
okay.
And we represent the cities in this. If something would in consortium, we represent the cities. If there's a house in Southlake that wanted to open themselves up for homeless, they would be eligible to do that. But we would not go in and tell them they need to open themselves up. They would apply to us.
Okay. Mr. Grummer, did you have any other questions? No, sir. Thank you.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Ms. Glenn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one item. We're asking the court to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So move.
Second. We have a motion and a second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Mr. Beecham. My eyes are swiveling.
Because of me?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 3 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2014-134, triennial contract for emulsions for use by all precincts. Recommendation be awarded on a per unit price basis and discount from list price, awarding to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in your court communique.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 2 is a bid award recommendation for bid 2014-141. This is a bid for the purchase of furniture for the Tarrant County Northeast Courthouse. Recommendation be to award on a per unit price basis, awarding lots to Corporate Source, Royer and Schutz, Business Interiors by Staples, and Total Office by Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our last item, number 3, is also a bid
Wait a
award.
minute. Slow down.
Sir.
I wanted to ask a question about what we just approved.
Yes, sir.
When's the delivery?
No more than 20, anywhere from 20 to 84 days is what I've been told.
20 to what?
84 days.
Be about June of next year.
84 days.
20 to 84 days is what I've been told.
84 days is when, that's,
No, 3 months.
October.
About the 1st of November. You going to be ready?
Oh, yeah.
Are you moving your old furniture? Your old
Some of it, yeah.
Make sure you have some rustic furniture.
We're moving some of it.
moved all mine.
Okay.
I still have some pink furniture left. If you...
I'll bet you do. It'd go good with that red grout. Don't you have some red grout that would?
I do.
That pink and that red probably go pretty well together. I'm not sure you'd want it in your bathroom, but I mean, other than that.
Okay.
Would you like to take back control or try?
No. Our last item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2014-142. This is our annual contract for microfiche and microfilm equipment, maintenance, and supplies. Recommendation be to award a per unit price basis, selecting as our primary vendor Office Store Depot, secondary vendor DataBank IMX, and the alternate vendor Eastman Park Micrographics.
Y'all call it fish in Arkansas. We call it fish in other places.
It's fish.
It's fish. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Are there any appointments today? There being none, then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius?
Your Honor, we do not have any items to bring to you today as it relates to briefing.
Wonderful. Could have scooted through this a little bit quicker, and we might have had a record. Then we will recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempted under sections 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code.
2 codes, 3, 4.
That lady don't have a special place in heaven, nobody does. Having returned from our closed session and there being no business to conduct at this time, we are adjourned.